Welcome back to video number 3 for this fabulous Thursday morning. This is our palate cleanser where we discuss the royals and what they've been out and about and doing. So let's just jump right in and get there, shall we? Let's go. We're going to start out talking about King Charles's niece. Her name is Lady Louise Windsor. We know all about her. She was raised out of the spotlight. She's currently at college. And it's being reported that she hopes to be the first female royal to serve in the military since Queen Elizabeth did it. Now, Lady Louise, who is 20, is already a member at St. Andrews University, where she goes to school, of the Officers Training Corps. It is a family tradition, so I don't see why she shouldn't be allowed. We know that Prince Edward, Lady Louise's father, trained with the Royal Marines in 1987. We know that King Charles served in the Royal Air Force before he went into the Royal Navy from 1971 to 1976. And of course, Prince Andrew flew in the Falklands War as a Navy helicopter pilot. So yes, the Queen did it first, but it's kind of like a family thing. For those of you who don't know, Queen Elizabeth II was a junior commander with the Auxiliary Territorial Service during World War II. She drove an ambulance. She learned how to, take care of the mechanical, under the hood. The king and queen at the time and her sister went to visit her and watched her point out, this is a spark plug, this is a fan belt, this is that. And so at the time, it was really amazing because at the time that this was going on, Queen Elizabeth had never even ridden on the subway. But yet here she was driving an ambulance. It's just amazing. And while she was there, she asked for and was granted by the king the order of no special privileges. So she didn't have any rank over anybody. She went in like anybody else would have. Please remember that Queen Elizabeth at that time was Princess Elizabeth. She had just turned 18, and all of her teenage years were against the backdrop of World War II. And so she was determined to do her bit for the war effort like her peers were. So yes, it was within a year of turning 18 that she signed up for the Auxiliary Territorial Services, or the ATS as they called it. It was an unprecedented decision at the time, and it made her the very first woman in the royal family to become a full-time member of the military armed services. I just love the fact that she wanted to do her bit for her country. I feel like the Queen looked back on those days with fondness, if that makes any sense, even though there was a war going on, because it helped define her life of service, if that makes sense. And keep in mind that World War II, when it broke out, Elizabeth was only 13, so 6 years of conflict. This is what helped, shaped her. Now, these articles also say that Elizabeth and Margaret were strong propaganda weapons for the government of the day because it was the Queen's first bombshell broadcast, and the two of them could have left the country. They could have gone to safety abroad, but the king and the queen would have none of it. And the children will not leave unless I do, said the Queen's mother, Queen Mother Elizabeth. And she said, I won't leave unless the king does, and the king won't leave the country under any circumstances. So we're all going to say. Now, everybody was moved to Windsor Castle, 30 miles from London. And she always said, we went for a weekend and we stayed for 5 years. But they were able to see, all the bombings and the stuff going on. And at Christmas, in order to cheer up the king, who apparently became very depressed at the losses being inflicted, the girls did some pantomimes. One year it was Cinderella. It was Aladdin another year. I think that's pretty cool. Anyway, personally, I think it would be a fabulous thing for Louise to join the military if that's what she wants to do. Good for her. Let's move on. All right, on August 26th, Zara Tindall competed in the Wellington International Horse Trials. She looked really good up on that horse. She's such a keen sports person. You know what I'm saying? We all know that she was a serious equestrian competitor. She got a gold medal at the European Eventing Championships in 2005. She got a silver medal at the World Equestrian Games in 2006. It looks like she was riding her horse Classic Eurostar, I believe is the name of him. She was also spotted riding her bike on the grounds there because she's athletic. We know that. We also know that Zara was crowned BBC Sports Personality of the Year, and she's been nicknamed the Royal Olympian. I love her, love Mike, love the kids, favorites. Moving on. I want to move on now and talk about the Duke of Gloucester, who turned 80 on August 25th. Now, he married a woman with no aristocratic credentials, which was very unusual. Her name is Birgitte. She is Danish. She was a lawyer's daughter who worked as a 9-to-5 secretary before they were married. And she's never uttered a word in public, they're saying, at a public duty. Here's a little background for you. This is Prince Richard Alexander Walter George. He was born fifth in line to the throne as one of George V's 9 grandchildren. So he's now where Prince Harry is today in position of the throne. 2 of his father's, Prince Henry's elder brothers, became king, and his mother was Princess Alice, the late Duchess of Gloucester. She was an aristocrat. He studied architecture, he got married, and then a year into his job, after he married Birgitte, his elder brother, who was heir to the dukedom, was killed while racing his plane at age 30. And 2 years later, in 1974, he inherited the family dukedom after his father passed away. And at that point, he became a full-time working royal. They have 3 children, and they celebrated 50 years of marriage in 2022. It seems like they have a really good feet on the ground, you know what I mean? They all could have chosen to live more of the spotlight, but they don't, which people are saying, says a lot about them. Prince Richard's reputation for normality even stretches, he carries his own money, something that they usually, royals usually don't do. They lived in a 21-room home, apartment 1, next to William and Catherine. And in 2019, they moved into a more modest apartment because Harry and Meghan, after renovation, were going to take in that apartment, 1A. And then, of course, they never moved in. I don't know if the Gloucesters moved back or not. But anyway, he's a fabulous guy. Happy birthday to him. All right, you guys, you know what to do. Hit the like button and the subscribe button and the bell, just in case YouTube decides to send out notifications. Go down into the description box and find the links to my Twitter, my Gettr, my Rumble, my email, my Patreon, which is currently paused, my Amazon wish list, a physical address in case there's something you want to send me. For those of you who've donated to my coffee fund, thank you so much. And as always, you guys, have a great day.